Hello everyone, Ariam here, and welcome back to another episode of Dinosaur Days. Today, we're talking about a spectacular sauropod, the Shunosaurus. So, what makes this sauropod so special? Is it perhaps the fact that it is one of the most anatomically known sauropods, due to the fact that over 20 specimens nearly complete have been found, and over 94% of a full skeleton has been reconstructed? That is pretty special, pretty exciting, but that's not what I'm talking about. Is it perhaps that this is a smaller sauropod, potentially less than 35 feet long? Maybe, that's pretty cute. But no, that's not quite it either. So what on earth is up with Shunosaurus? Well, this sauropod had a club tail. There is a clade of dinosaurs very well known for having clubbed tails, the ankylosaurs and their relatives, and sauropods and ankylosaurs are not closely related at all, so seeing a club tail on a sauropod is certainly a sight to behold. Now, of course, just because two species have similar traits doesn't mean they were related in any way. I just wanted to point out that you really don't see club tails outside of ankylosaurs. So why did Shunosaurus have one? Well, oftentimes the simplest answer can be the correct one. It's believed that this club at the end of Shunosaurus's tail was used to fend off predators. It's widely believed that in addition to their size, the tail of a sauropod was its best defense against predators, especially if it had not yet reached full size and was still vulnerable. There was an older idea that some species of sauropods would be able to use their tail like a whip, cracking it so hard and fast that it would actually create a small sonic boom, which I can't imagine would feel awesome if you were a carnivore trying to take a bite. Now, this awesome theory has been scaled down a bit in recent years. There have been several studies ranging from an actual whip created with 3D printed recreations of sauropod vertebrae to various digital recreations showing that this likely wasn't possible, but that doesn't mean getting hit with any sauropod tail would not do a ton of damage. So, what's even better than having a tail that you can use to beat the ever-loving daylights out of something trying to bite you? Attaching a club with spikes on the end of it. I don't think any carnivore would take a look at that and go, seems like an easy meal. I'll take that one. As a smaller sauropod, although by no means a small animal, having that extra bit of defense might have been really helpful. Additionally, based on the way the neck vertebrae and the shoulders sit together, it's believed that Shunosaurus was a low browser, meaning instead of having a sauropod neck that stood up to reach for treetops, it reached out to graze in front of it. So, and this is total speculation on my part, I want to be absolutely clear about that. I didn't find any information on this anywhere, but it's possible that this tail club also acted as a head decoy. There are several species of animals, especially reptiles, today where their hind end mimics their front end, and this is so that in the case of a predator attack, they can whip around and disorient the predator and end up with a chunk taken out of their butt instead of a chunk taken out of their head. Given the spikes on the club and the idea of a tail club in general, it is more likely that Shunosaurus used it for defense, but I do wonder if a possible benefit, or maybe even the reason it developed in the first place, was to act as a decoy, because when you look at this animal, it kind of looks symmetrical from both ends. Really long appendage with a little nub on the end. One just happens to be the booty end, and one happens to be the head end. But I'd love to hear what you think in the comments. Is that just the ravings of a complete lunatic? Is it likely that this tail club was genuinely just for defense and it developed as a defensive mechanism? Or could I maybe be onto something with the idea of a decoy? Either way, this was a short, stubby little guy, but he had some pretty special assets, and that should remind you to smile.